World War I is usually remembered for muddy trenches, poison gas, and millions of dead soldiers in Europe. But far from the Western Front, one nation fought almost no major land battles, lost very few lives, yet walked away stronger, richer, and more powerful than ever before. That country was Japan. So how did Japan win World War I without fighting like the other great powers? This is the story of how Japan used strategy, timing, and opportunity to emerge as a global power after the Great War. At the start of the 20th century, Japan was not yet a global superpower. Only decades earlier, Japan had been isolated from the world, technologically behind Western nations, ruled by feudal warlords. But everything changed after the Meiji Restoration in 1868. Japan rapidly modernized, built factories, adopted Western military technology, created a powerful navy, centralized its government. By 1905, Japan shocked the world by defeating Russia in the Russo-Japanese War. For the first time in modern history, an Asian nation defeated a major European power. Japan had arrived on the world stage. When World War I began in 1914, Japan was not directly threatened. So why did it join? The answer is simple: opportunity. Japan had an alliance with Great Britain, signed in 1902. When Britain went to war against Germany, Japan saw a chance to expand its influence in Asia, eliminate German power in the Pacific, gain international recognition. Germany controlled several key territories in Asia and the Pacific. Japan wanted them. So in August 1914, Japan declared war on Germany. Unlike Europe, the war in Asia was short and decisive. The Siege of Tsingtao. Japan's main target was Qingdao, a German naval base in China. Japanese forces surrounded the city, used modern artillery, worked with a small British force. By November 1914, Qingdao fell. Germany was expelled from mainland East Asia. Pacific Island takeover. Japan then seized German-controlled islands, Mariana Islands, Caroline Islands, and Marshall Islands. These islands were taken with almost no resistance. Japan had just expanded its territory across the Pacific, and it did all of this in less than a year. Japan didn't stop there. Its navy became crucial to the Allied war effort. Japanese ships protected Allied trade routes, escorted troop convoys, patrolled against German submarines. Japanese warships even operated in the Indian Ocean, in the Mediterranean Sea. This showed the world that Japan was no longer a regional power. It was a global naval force. While Europe was being destroyed, Japan's economy was booming. Why? Because European factories were focused on weapons, not consumer goods. Japan stepped in to supply textiles, ships, machinery, weapons, industrial materials. Japanese exports exploded. The result? A massive industrial growth, a rising wealth. Japan became Asia's leading economic power. World War I didn't drain Japan, it enriched it. In 1919, the war ended. Japan sat at the Paris Peace Conference alongside Britain, France, the United States, Italy. This alone proved how far Japan had come. Japan was rewarded with a control over former German territories, a League of Nations mandates in the Pacific. However, Japan faced discrimination. It proposed a racial equality clause, asking that nations be treated equally regardless of race. Western powers rejected it. Japan gained territory, but also resentment. So why do historians say Japan won World War I? Because Japan fought on the winning side, gained land and influence, strengthened its military, became an economic powerhouse, lost very few soldiers. While Europe was exhausted, Japan was rising. World War I transformed Japan into a major world power. Japan's victory in World War I was quiet, strategic, and incredibly effective. No trenches. No mass destruction. No collapse. Instead, Japan used the war to reshape its future. But the frustrations left unresolved after 1919 would later push Japan down a far darker path, one that would explode into World War II. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. More deep dive history documentaries are coming.